All right, everybody, welcome in, welcome in. This is our second podcast series for Nutrition on a Mission, and we are having the conversation today with Miss Tonya Pachaska, which I'm so excited to have
Me
this
too.
conversation with you about menopause because when you are dealing with the same health issues as someone else, that same struggle,
hmm
the conversation gets good.
It
All
really
right.
does.
Yeah. So
It,
I'm so excited about this today. So for those who haven't met me, my name is Dr. Jen. I'm a pharmacist and diabetic educator. My friend Tanya is also a health and wellness coach. We've been on this journey for the last few years, and I am super excited. Tanya, you want to say just a little bit about yourself to introduce yourself to everyone?
sure, Dr. Jen. Well, I just turned 59 last week.
Yes, love it.
I am a wife, a mom of three, a grandmother of two. I'm a
Hmm.
sourdough baker. And yes, every week I bake breads and cookies and all sorts of goodness in my home micro bakery. And all the while, I have been on this health journey and able to lose weight and inflammation and learn how to eat and develop metabolic flexibility in my body. And I absolutely I'm passionate about helping others who are entering menopause, in menopause, post-menopause, because I
Love it.
felt so helpless a couple years ago, hopeless and
Yeah.
helpless until I heard you talking about insulin resistance.
Okay, so let's pull up, as you're introing this, let's pull up our
Okay.
first slide. Let's talk about
Okay.
Tanya. What, 3 years ago? 2.5 years ago?
Yes. Well, actually, in 2019, I had a hysterectomy, and that sort of started the spiral where, I've always been a fairly healthy person. I eat well,
Hmm.
exercise, I'm active, um, and I take care of myself. So after the hysterectomy, I was continuing to do the same thing, but it
Hmm.
wasn't working. I was continuing to gain weight. Every time I got on the scale, I'd have a great week and I'd get on the scale and I had gained 2 pounds. I would see Randy eating candy and I would gain a pound. It was maddening and frustrating. And I got to the point, that would have been, let's see, 2024 is when I
Hmm.
found you. So that's 5 years after my hysterectomy, felt hopeless and heard you talking about insulin resistance. And that changed everything for me because I talked to my doctor about it every year. And I said, look, here's my food journal. This is how much I'm drinking. This is how much I'm exercising. I was doing all the right things, but it wasn't working. It was going the opposite direction.
Hmm.
And I
And
did
so
not
your food was,
understand.
yeah, so you were eating good food.
Yes,
You
yes,
were
I was
getting
eating good food.
exercise.
Yes,
So
I
one
was
thing we,
counting calories, counting macros. I was trying everything.
well, it's crazy. So
It
the
is.
this picture that you guys see,
Yes.
to me, this is incredible. The difference between then and now.
That was 2023 on the left. And then
The
on the right is last fall. And not to mention, we didn't even touch the topic of hot flashes. I had such massive hot flashes that I would have a hard time getting my hair dry because as I'm drying my hair, I'd have to do it in spurts and have a fan on me, or just anytime, any day, they would just hit and I would just be wet in my clothes. I would wake up wet at night. They were massive hot flashes. And 5 weeks into this protocol, I never even guessed that my hot flashes could possibly be a part of this health journey, that they would go
yeah,
away. Didn't even
yeah,
didn't even think about it. I was mainly looking for to reduce the inflammation, lose the weight. But anyway, 5 weeks in, my hot flashes are complete. They've been completely gone since then. No
that's
hot
wild.
flashes. Unbelievable. I had skin tags on my neck, and every year I would go to my dermatologist, and she would, I don't know if she'd burn them or cut them off. And that's a sign of insulin resistance that I did not know.
Yes.
And the cravings, constant cravings. And also, I was living under the understanding
Hmm.
that every few hours we should fuel our body. So I would eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'd eat a snack, mid morning snack, a mid afternoon snack, and sometimes a snack after dinner. Now, maybe they were protein.
Yeah.
Maybe they were a fruit or vegetable. I did not understand that they were spiking my insulin every time I ate and
Yeah.
that my body kept going on that roller coaster all day long. I had no time to allow my body to burn fat for fuel. Now I do.
It's just crazy. So I want
It
to dive
is.
a little bit into menopause as well as perimenopause,
Mm-hmm.
because when we first met, we were a little bit in different stages of our journey. I was in perimenopause, which is
Mm-hmm.
actually very different than postmenopause, which is
Mm-hmm.
where you got started.
Right.
So in perimenopause, our estrogen levels are up, down, up, down, up, down, like just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
In menopause, your estrogen levels are low, very low. And this is where you struggle. But what we had in similarities is that either way, your insulin and your estrogen is actually very related to each other. And what you eat absolutely matters, totally matters. So, for a moment, I'm going to just talk a little bit about menopause itself and the menopause struggle that so many of us are going through. And whether you're starting with perimenopause or you're postmenopause or you're going through the transition, and even our PCOS girlies, which is now
Right.
PMOS, we're going through the struggle of not having the right amount of estrogen, progesterone, or insulin, as we're going to talk about. It's the same sort of problem, and that's just it. It's those PCOS girls don't understand that quite so often the way that the menopause girlies are eating is what they need too. So, a little bit about the struggle of menopause. Up to 80% of women experience the hot flashes. Okay, it's not
It's
unique, it's
incredible.
super common, and it is disruptive. Would you
Mm-hmm.
not say? Like,
Absolutely. It disrupted my life every day
at
because you didn't know
night.
when they were going to hit.
Yeah, and at night,
And at
waking up. I
night,
mean, you would
right.
literally wake up
Yep. Drenched.
drenched.
Drenched. Yep.
I
Leg
mean,
in, leg out of the sheets all night long, fan on, air conditioner down really low. Poor Randy just froze.
he's a little guy too,
He
right? He's
is.
lean, so he doesn't
Yes,
have all that extra fat to keep him
that's
warm in
right.
the air conditioned winter of all year
Yes.
long of Tanya. Yeah,
Yes.
and then for so many women, weight gain 10 to 15 pounds, and I
Yes.
think this is being on the light side,
I would
10 to
say so
15 pounds
too.
or
Yes.
more just during
Yes.
the transition, and then usually post menopause, the
Hmm.
weight continues to climb, and it's all hormones. And then the estrogen changes, okay? So, insulin, the hormone insulin that is variable depending on what we eat, is directly affects estrogen. And so many people don't realize that. So, that's something we're going to talk about tonight too.
Okay.
And then good old muscle.
Yes.
Naturally, because of sarcopenia, as we age, starting at age 35 even, right? Then after 40, our muscle loss starts to really accelerate. And muscle is your longevity organ. Muscle is your sugar burning organ. So it's what uses the most sugar. So if you're consuming carbohydrates and consuming sugar, as you're losing muscle and your body is less able to burn off the sugar, guess where it's going?
Right
That's
to your
what's
belly.
contributed. Yep,
Yes.
that's what's contributing to that menopausal belly weight as we
Hmm.
so know it. But
Hmm.
really, truly, this is all a hormone issue. So, as Tanya was talking about that nice little trigger phrase, insulin resistance.
Hmm.
The truth is insulin resistance is an epidemic, and the studies are out. 93% of Americans have some level of insulin resistance, and there in the hot pink is symptoms of an insulin resistant state. The excessive belly fat, the fatigue after each meal, sugar cravings, brain fog, skin tags are one of the physical signs of insulin resistance. High triglycerides, which you're going to find in your labs, pre-diabetes, which you don't always find in your labs because before you hit that
Hmm.
pre-diabetic state or at the very beginning stages, you have high insulin, and most doctors don't test for
No,
insulin. Did your doctor ever take an
no,
insulin
no, she
level?
never did. Never did.
No.
But I was
And
heading
what
right towards
Mhm.
prediabetes or type 2. I had the top 5 symptoms there, but the bottom 3 I didn't have yet. But I know I was on a freight train heading right for it.
Yeah. Well, I had the high blood pressure. I had the
Yes.
brain fog. I had the sugar cravings. I was beyond sugar craving. I was craving like sugar addicted. I mean, I couldn't go more than 2 hours without eating.
Wasn't it Werther's that you sucked on all the
Yes, the
time at
little
work?
Werthers, the hard
Yes.
Werthers candies,
Yes.
and chewy gummy stuff. So I liked like the sweet and sour stuff, and I liked
Mhm.
Starburst.
Mhm.
I would literally just sit, you open a bag every morning, and you just pop them in your mouth
Yes. All
all
day
day
long.
long at
Right.
work. And I had
Right.
no idea what I was doing to my hormones. It's just
You
crazy
know,
because
uh,
who teaches us?
no one. No, you do.
Exactly.
You do. And I do.
Now I do, yeah.
And
It,
back in the, few years ago, I would have a protein bar that I thought I was doing the right thing.
yeah.
And I've learned so much more about the highly processed
Processed
foods now.
foods.
And
Yes.
eating now is so easy. Whole foods. How hard is that?
I know. Well, and we're going to get into that too because Whole Foods is the answer,
Hmm.
but not everybody understands how to get there because once you get
Right.
into that cycle of the cravings, it becomes
Yes.
hard. So, one other thing that I really want to make sure that we touch on is for perimenopause, we start going up and down with the estrogen as it slowly is coming down. So, it's cycling like a roller coaster, but it's trending in the lower direction.
Hmm.
Then, when you go through the menopause switch and postmenopause, your estrogen levels are significantly lower. Less estrogen contributes even worse to the insulin resistant state.
Hmm.
And we're going to get into our next couple slides are going to say exactly how insulin resistance starts. But this insulin resistant state, which basically occurs from how much we're eating, how often we're eating, and what we're eating, is causing this metabolic storm in the body because estrogen and insulin are very related hormones. In fact, all your hormones are related.
Hmm.
And so the worse the insulin level goes, because we're drinking the Starbucks,
Hmm.
we're allowing ourselves the carbs and the sugary snacks, right? Our insulin levels are higher. We're more up to an insulin resistant state. Insulin is higher, your fat storage mode, putting more sugar into the belly.
Hmm.
Inflammation. Inflammation
Yes.
is getting higher because of these hormones being off as well. More cravings because now we're affecting the hormone GLP, a hormone so many of us hear about all the
Right.
time, right? It's also affecting leptin. It's also affecting ghrelin. These are two other fat storage and hunger hormones that are affected as we age as women. Women, especially. Of course, it's the women
Of course.
who get affected the most, right? We only had the
Right.
babies, had all the periods, and then we got to deal
Yes.
with menopause, right?
Yes, exactly.
And then the hot flashes. Okay, so the estrogen is causing hot flashes. Insulin resistance has the same symptoms of hot flashes. Crazy enough, they feed
Mhm.
on each other. And then sensitivity to stress. So the cortisol, stress hormone, falls into this as well because cortisol and insulin balance each other. When you're
Mhm.
in an insulin resistant state, when you're high insulin all the time, it is going to mess with your cortisol levels. And henceforth, your stress levels also affect your insulin and your blood sugar. It's a really rough cycle to get
It is.
into. And it's very easy to fall into this because the food that you eat in your 20s and 30s, how often and how much you eat, our body, our metabolism, and our hormones are very forgiving in our 20s and 30s.
Mhm.
And then the 40s hit, and there's less forgiving. And then the 50s hit, and there's no budging. All right. When it comes
Right.
to these hormones, it becomes more and more important as we age. So, anyone else on here feel like sugar cravings have taken like that was my biggest
Yes.
issue. Now you
Yes.
ate relatively healthy, right? You were eating a
Right.
healthy diet.
Right.
I wasn't. So I want to discuss this part as well for
Sure.
women who are going through this menopause change. When you eat high carb or high sugar, and high carb, high sugar can be something as simple as the Starbucks latte and a bagel and cream cheese in the morning.
Mhm. Mhm.
That starts you off on the wrong foot right away. Blood sugar spike causes insulin, the hormone, to be released from your pancreas in order to push down that blood sugar level. And that's normal. That's biology. That's how our body works. The problem is when you have a high sugar meal, you release a lot of insulin. It causes a drastic crash in the
Mhm.
blood sugar. That blood sugar crash lowers the glucagon-like peptide hormone. You're then hungrier quicker. And hence the problem. That blood sugar
Mhm.
crash sends you craving, and then you get right back into the more sugar mode more sugar mode, more sugar mode. So we're talking a lot about why it all goes wrong, right?
Right.
But we also want to talk about what we need to do to get it right. So, at what point, let's talk about that for a moment. If we go back 3 years ago,
Hmm.
at what point did you decide to try the Feel Great system and start focusing on how and when you eat your meals instead of exactly like what you're eating and
Mhm.
focusing on exercise? At what point did you decide this was going to be
Well,
the right thing for you? You tried other things, right? Let's
I
talk about
tried
that.
many other things and they worked for a little bit, or, I had a slight improvement, but it just wasn't a good fit and it wasn't working long term. And I do remember, so every June I go to my GP. And so June of 24, I had seen her.
Hmm.
I left there crying because I just felt so frustrated. Like I felt like she wasn't listening to me, what I was saying, and she wasn't giving me any answers. And so from June to November, I started listening to you talk about insulin resistance. And Randy's always very supportive. And I went to him and I said, look, I think I want to try this. I feel hopeless. And I really did not think it was going to work, but there's a 90-day money back guarantee. So why not try it? I'm desperate. So, so desperate that I started this on December 16th of 2024, right in the middle of the holidays. And I did not
Right?
care. I did not care. I was ready and willing to do anything because I was so uncomfortable in my body.
Yeah.
And so I started right in the middle of the holidays and I did it. I was very pretty strict with myself, and you don't have to be. I've learned you don't have to be because of all the years of, counting macros, counting calories, all of
Hmm.
those things. I had to really change my mindset and kind of release myself, free myself up to
Yeah.
actually eat some of the foods that I enjoy within those eating windows, and drinking my fiber, drinking my tea. And it has just been the most effective and easy and affordable thing I've ever done for myself. um, it has blown me away. It has blown me away, and then I want everybody else to know about it because it can help everyone. We all need
Yeah.
this. We all
Oh,
need
yeah.
this.
93% of Americans are struggling with a
Yes.
level of insulin resistance. And
Right.
insulin resistance is literally just occurs from eating too much,
Yes.
too often. Our eating window starting early in the morning and going late at
Yes.
night, even when it's small little meals throughout the day, which so
Mhm.
many dietitians are saying, eat the small little meals throughout the day. That's what's
That's
keeping
what I
that
was
insulin
thinking.
high. That's what's
Yeah.
keeping our insulin so high. So you tried a variety of expensive
Yes.
supplements.
Yes.
Yeah.
Expensive. I'm telling you, hundreds of dollars a month
And
on.
especially for things like the hot flashes and hormones, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. The one supplement that I was taking for only the hot flashes was $200 a month. And I think that it helped maybe 15%. It was very little. But then once I had a tiny bit of relief, I was afraid to stop taking it because I didn't want to go back to the
You
full
didn't want to get
on.
worse, right?
Right. So I don't have those anymore. I mean, and this protocol that I follow, these supplements that I take now are less than that one supplement I was taking. So
Isn't
I'm
that
actually
crazy?
saving money, um, and in all different ways. In grocery money, in
Hmm.
what I was spending, now I'm not. It has been life changing for us.
And so, what we're really talking about, guys, we've been hinting and hinting and hinting at it, right? But basically, what we've been focusing on to fix our own hormone issues is blood sugar control. Honestly, first and foremost. And I was not diabetic. You were not diabetic. And so, for if someone would have come up to us and say, you need to start watching your blood sugar, we would have laughed because both of us
Right,
are like, we're not diabetic. What are we
right,
worried about?
right.
But the truth is your blood sugar matters because your blood sugar affects your insulin, and your insulin affects every other hormone in your body. So we started focusing on blood sugar control. My thumbs up. I don't even know how to
I
turn it
see
off.
that.
Um, started focusing on fasting, the old age fasting. The truth is, guys, is our food has changed faster than our biology. And the Neanderthals that used to walk this earth used to fast all the time. They would hunt for their food, they would gather for their food, they would eat a large meal and then not eat for days. Guess what?
Mhm.
We have the same innate biology made inside of us. That's why when we eat a large meal, our body stores it as fat.
Mhm.
With the science that when we don't have food, our body will be able to burn that off. But because of the convenience of modern America today and all the drive throughs and the Starbucks on
Mhm.
every corner, right?
Right. Right.
We are constantly putting sugar. We are constantly
Mhm.
putting carbs. We are constantly putting food in our bodies. And so we're never allowing our body time to use that stored fuel.
Mhm.
So fasting is one of the things we learned. Then we started learning how to incorporate fiber into our life, not realizing the importance of fiber for both glucose control and keeping you fuller longer and cutting the cravings. Did you all know that fiber increases your glucagon like peptide hormone naturally? No, you don't need to supplement. You can eat the right foods. Then protein, of course. Now, most of us have heard about protein, have we
Right.
not? All over social media, the ladies are like protein, 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 protein. But the
Mhm.
truth is, if you overdo the protein, if you overdo the protein, and you're just trying to push in 150 grams of protein a day and you're in an insulin resistant state, you're actually going to store some of that as sugar. And that's the truth. And I see plenty of women do that. They overdo it.
Mhm.
So we prioritize protein, but we also know our limitations. And then gut health. Beautiful fiber is a prebiotic that helps improve the gut health. Fasting improves the gut health. Time based eating and having an eating window so we're not constantly inflaming the gut with food.
Mhm.
Key, absolutely key to the changes we've been able to make. So, I'm going to talk a little bit, we're going to dive in a little bit about what we're doing supplementation wise. We started adding prebiotic fiber because it's so healthy for the gut and the gut membrane. And we started adding naturally GLP-1 inducing antioxidants, getting in our vitamin A, C, E, phosphorus, magnesium, manganese, all of that first thing in the morning to help us do some time based eating. So, this is a two-part system that we talk about. Like Tonya said, there's a tea and there's a fiber. Okay. And we're going to talk a little bit about each one individually. So our tea is called Unamate. It is a yerba mate extract. And one of the most important components, although it does have saponins and antioxidants and theobromine for the mood enhancing. There's actually
Mhm.
studies shown in the prescriber's digital reference. This can help with your mood as well, which is something us ladies in menopause typically want a little extra boost with.
Mhm.
But the Unamate's claim to fame is the beautiful chlorogenic acid that it contains. And the chlorogenic acid is a potent fat burning component. Our Unamate extract actually has way more, 10 times the chlorogenic acid of coffee or green tea, and actually potentially potently more. It is so much more potent than the yerba mate, like the teas you can find in the can at the grocery store.
Mhm.
Every time I start talking about Unamate and it being a yerba mate, I see people sending me a picture of a yerba mate can from the gas station. Guys, it is not the same thing. And if you look at the label, a lot of times they even add sugar to those
Mhm.
drinks, which is the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. So, our Unamate has a patent on it so that you cannot get this constituent anywhere else. If you're looking for the science on how much more potent it is than the stuff you get at the gas station, we can get that for you as well.
Mhm.
But the chlorogenic acid, not only is it a fat burner, it is protective to the heart, to the brain, to the beta cells of the pancreas, and that's where your insulin is produced and released. Liver and kidney protective. And of course, claim to fame is the fat burning, right? We all love that as the ladies. And a potent anti inflammatory. Incredible for inflammation. If you remember Tanya's before and after, and we'll show it again,
Yes.
the
My face.
inflammation out of her face
Mhm.
alone.
Mhm.
That's not just fat, that's inflammation.
Right.
And how long would you say, Tanya, for those listening in, to start seeing that inflammation come down? Do you remember how long it took?
Well, I
When
still
did you
think the
start
five the
feeling?
5 week I started feeling better, over the first 3, 4 weeks. And then the
Hmm.
fifth week was key for me. That's
Yeah,
when everything really started to change and when I really started seeing the differences. But with the hot flashes gone, that was huge. But also, I think, by that point, I had lost a decent amount of weight already, and my clothes were already feeling more comfortable.
I
I
love
had
it.
more energy, I had less cravings. that was the key for me. I know that I have a lot of clients that, it's different for everyone.
Hmm.
So, it just depends on
It depends
it.
on what your level of insulin resistance
Exactly.
is,
Exactly.
honestly, and it depends on if you're perimenopause like me, or if you're a PCOS mama, or if you are postmenopause.
Mhm,
We all start in
mhm.
a different state, and then of course
Right.
those of us who join starting something like this, who are already full-blown type 2 diabetes, sometimes
It'll
the
take
biggest
longer.
focus is this helping with the blood sugar first.
Mhm.
True, with the blood sugar first. So as we talk a little bit more about blood sugar, I want to talk about the other part of the system, which is the fiber. So the fiber is 7 different kinds of viscous fiber that literally coats your gut to slow the absorption of sugar and carbs through the bloodstream. It also blocks LDL cholesterol right there at the gut level.
Mm.
So there's scientific studies that show that it lowers the LDL cholesterol as well as slowing the blood sugar spike by 43 to 50%, depending on which studies we see. Just incredible.
It's
Not to
amazing.
mention, yeah, not to mention the balanced fiber increases the GOP hormone as well, just like you're eating vegetables without the macros, without all the calories. It's like eating a big bowl of veggies without the veggies, right? You're getting
Well,
all the good stuff out of it without getting the extra calories, without getting the extra sugar, because
mhm.
vegetables still are carbohydrates, right?
Right.
Helps curb that appetite between meals, aids in reducing the amount of dietary cholesterol, reduce carbs absorption, supports normal, healthy blood glucose balance. We've worked with several people now, hundreds, honestly, with type 2 diabetes and even some type 1 diabetics. Our type 1s are using 70 to 80% less insulin using this fiber in tea. Our type 2s are coming off of the insulin and are actually putting type 2 completely and absolutely in remission.
That's
For
amazing.
Isn't that incredible? And then
Incredible.
for people like me and Tanya, our goal was preventing diabetes, and we didn't even know we were headed in that direction.
Right. Right.
I knew that I had a sugar addiction, right? I mean, I knew that, but yet I was only holding on to an extra, what, 10 pounds? Who cares? Guess what? Started the Team Fiber, lost 30
30.
pounds. Didn't even realize I had pushed my body that far.
Hmm.
And I had been on 3 prescriptions. I was on blood pressure medication for 20 years, gut medication, omeprazole for 15 years, off all 3 meds within a few months.
Incredible.
It's just amazing.
Can we
So,
talk for 1 second about why we need this fiber? Because our foods today are stripped of their natural
yes.
fibers, and our bodies are in such deficit for fiber.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not anything like Metamucil or anything you can get over the counter.
It's not.
Uh, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, think about it. When we think about today's food, we have
Mhm.
cotton candy grapes in the grocery store,
Right?
guys. Do you
Apples the
think
size of your head.
Yeah, strawberries. I remember picking strawberries with my grandma as a kid. They were tiny. You would go
Yes.
get a basket at Granny's Berries.
Mhm.
You'd put like 30 strawberries in there. Now, if you go grab strawberries from the grocery store, they're
They're huge.
huge.
Yes.
Does that not
Yes.
scare anyone else?
It's very scary.
They've literally hybridized our fruits and vegetables to have more sugar content and less fiber content. Why? Because you eat more. That's the goal, right? For you to
Right.
buy more of it. And it's
Mhm.
marketing. And for us, we may look at it and say, oh my gosh, what a scam.
Mhm.
But that's their legal right in the United States to market their food. And so, even with processed food, you'll see extra sugar, salt, and fat added to your food. Even
Yes.
Subway adds
To the
sugar
bread.
to the bread
Right.
so you eat more of it. So you crave it more often. Our potato chips, they add extra salt so that you eat the whole bag. You guys, I don't know how many of you have gone down that rabbit hole and that's happened to you. I've eaten a whole bag of chips before.
Oh, easy.
I've
Yes.
slammed a 6-inch Subway sandwich and wanted more to eat, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
think about our restaurants these days. You sit down, what do they serve you? Bread.
Huge. Well,
They
bread, yeah,
serve you
to
bread
start with.
right
Yes.
off the beginning, right?
Right.
You get that sugar in your mouth, right? It spikes your sugar, crashes your
Mhm.
sugar, and makes you just crave and eat. The science
Right.
is it makes you crave more sugar. It makes you crave the sugary drinks, which we dive into. Oh, I'm going to order the lemonade. I want the
Yes.
cocktail. with alcohol, all of these things that are affect our insulin levels as well.
Mhm.
It's just incredible what happens in the modern food environment. So I wanted to do just a little bit of like a little picture for everybody of
Mhm.
what the typical American eats. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, snack, snack. Every little
Mhm.
brown arrow there you see on your left is the blood sugar spiking. So for me, I can personally tell you what my meals look like was Starbucks latte in the morning, bagel and cream cheese, and then usually the little candies throughout the morning that I was snacking on. Maybe I'd be healthy, right? And I'd grab a little 100-calorie pack of pretzels because I'm like,
There you
oh, it's
go.
just 100 calories. Who cares, right? 100
Right.
calories of carbs and sugar and garbage. Just processed, no nutritional value whatsoever. I don't even know what I was thinking. And then lunch, typically I'd go to Culver's, Butterburger with cheese, cheese curds, soda.
Mhm.
In the afternoon, I'd be drinking, grab my coffee cup again and have coffee with cream and sugar. My coffee was white because it was coffee and cream and
Same.
sugar. I put so much cream and sugar in my coffee. It wasn't coffee. It's just
No.
a sugary drink, right?
Right.
Um, and then dinner time would come. Tacos. I would eat a pile
Pizza,
of nachos.
pasta,
Tanya,
nachos.
I did not
Yes.
eat clean like you did. Okay.
Oh,
So I was headed in a much worse direction than you were, honestly, if I didn't stop and start paying attention. It was not uncommon for me to put chips on a plate. Y'all, even Doritos. I'm not even joking. I really wish I was joking because think I talk about it out loud right now and I'm like,
what was
who
I?
didn't shake me? Who didn't shake? I was feeding this to my children.
Well,
Chips, and I put cheese and meat on top and I'm like, protein. It's a
yes.
meal.
And now look what you're making. Beautiful
What?
meals, Whole Foods.
Yes, yes. And I'm craving it and I'm loving it. And it's just incredible because of the fiber, because of the tea, and because of the time-based eating. I crave completely different foods. Do
Yes.
you not as well?
Absolutely. I can't wait to get my hands on well, you've seen my bowls that I make.
Yeah, yeah,
Freshly grilled chicken with some spinach and
absolutely.
avocado, cottage cheese, drizzled with our flavored vinegars. Oh my gosh, just amazing. They taste so good.
And we did have a question pop up that I wanted to answer. Does the tea
Okay.
have caffeine? And if so, how much? So the tea itself does have caffeine in it. There's a decaf variety and there's a caffeinated variety. And the
Mhm.
cup of the tea is the same as drinking a medium cup of coffee. So it's around 80 milligrams, 70 to 80 milligrams. It can vary depending on the plant because this is from a natural product. And we do not specifically create the tea for the caffeine content. We create it for the chlorogenic acid content, for the fat burning content. So that may mean that the caffeine can vary a little bit from batch to batch. Then there is the decaf variety, which is completely different. That only has 15 milligrams of caffeine and is tolerated by people who are even caffeine
Mhm.
sensitive. Although I've been caffeine sensitive in the past and I'm able to eat, I drink a caffeinated in the morning and a decaf in the afternoon without a problem. So I just wanted to make sure that we brought that up as that question
Yes.
popped up. So the modern food environment and how I used to eat right here. Okay.
Mhm.
I started drinking the tea and fiber. This bottom one now is how I'm drinking, how I live now. I get
Right.
up first thing in the morning. I drink my tea first thing in the morning for breakfast. It increases my glucagon like peptide hormone. I'm not hungry. Okay. I'm not. And
Mm-mm.
I was like that first week out of the gate. I don't know about you. I was
No.
easily able to skip the bagel and cream
Yes.
cheese right away. And I was a coffee addict, guys. I'm talking Starbucks. I'm talking 400 to 600 milligrams of caffeine a day. And that was the first question I asked. Am I going to get a headache from going from extreme caffeine to only like 100 milligrams of caffeine a day? I thought for sure I was going to fall over flat. I wasn't going to survive. And I was fine.
You
No
were fine.
headache, no problems, no, my inflammation started coming out of the face week one. Just absolutely incredible. So, tea for breakfast. And as the chart shows, we don't snack. We're really not hungry in the morning. We're not eating breakfast and we're not snacking. Lunchtime comes, we have a beautiful meal. Now, pictured here is what I used to have for lunch every day. And that's how I started. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. That's how I started the system. I still had the burger, but instead of eating the burger and the cheese curds and the soda, I was skipping the soda because I was drinking my second tea instead,
Mhm.
starting at lunchtime. I was also sipping on water throughout the day because hydration, we have learned, and electrolytes, extremely important to our health, healthy for our liver and kidneys, gives you energy like nothing else. Guys, you don't need extreme amounts of caffeine. You need water and electrolytes. And that's a whole 2 hour lecture that we can get into. And then between lunch and dinner, because we're sipping on that second tea, guess what? We're not snacking. We're not hungry. Dinner time comes, we're not ravenous. We're sitting down to the table. We're making a nice meal, sitting down to the table. And for me, that was my most carb heavy, dense meal. My
Mhm.
biggest meal of the day is dinner. I think it is for a lot of people. A lot of
Right.
people sit down with their family in the evening,
Mhm.
have that bigger meal. We drink the fiber right before the meal so we
Mhm.
don't overeat. And now on the nights I have pizza, and I still do that from time to time, just so you know, guys. Instead of having this much pizza, I'm having this much pizza. It's like eating a big bowl of broccoli before your meal, honestly and
Yes.
truly.
It really does change. I used to crave pizza all the time, first of all. Now I don't
Hmm.
crave it. And yes, when I do have pizza, I eat probably at least half of what I used to eat.
Yeah,
And I have a salad along the side of it,
exactly.
or maybe
I
some
find
cottage
myself,
cheese.
I find myself eating an avocado.
Oh,
I drink my fiber and I'm
that's
eating an
good.
avocado and then I'm having the
Hmm.
pizza. And we used to have pizza Friday
Hmm.
on Fridays at work. And now I find myself showing up to Pizza Friday and sitting down with my eggs and avocado and eating lunch and not even wanting a single slice.
That's
Guys,
incredible.
game changer. When your gut health changes, your cravings change, period, and point blank.
Hmm.
It's been absolutely, absolutely incredible. So I want to make sure that we discuss the after, your results, your specific results from what happened for you. So go ahead,
Well,
Tanya.
just, you know, the hot flashes, number one, life changing. If I knew that this would just take the hot flashes away, I still would have done this. But on top of that, again, the skin tags, the cravings are gone. I used to crave pizza all the time. I have
Yeah.
pizza maybe once every couple months. Um, the 50 pounds made a huge difference
Oh,
because
yeah.
now my clothes fit and I've gone down sizes and I can literally walk into my closet and pick whatever I want to put on and not have to worry about, is this going to cover my rolls? Is this going to be too tight? Am I going to feel uncomfortable? So it has just literally changed my life. The inflammation is down. Um, I sleep better and I have metabolic flexibility. So I am able to, like you said, every so often I'll eat couple slices of pizza or have something that is not a whole food. But I just love cooking now. It's so easy to think about two
Yes.
meals instead of three. It's so easy to throw some protein on the grill and then make a side salad with some avocado and done. So
And we
easy.
crave it and love it. It's
Yes.
crazy, right?
Yes. Exactly.
It's just wild. And for me, I was a
Mhm.
big caffeine addict. It's not something I crave anymore. I know we have a couple other questions coming in, so I'm going to go ahead
Right.
and ask those.
Okay.
Meal plans is the name of the person
Okay.
asked, what if you need to take medication first thing in the morning? Now, this is a common question that we get, so I'm going to handle this one as a
Mhm.
pharmacist.
Good.
It all depends on the medication. Obviously, things like thyroid medication that has to be taken on an empty stomach, not around food at all. You can still take that just like you always will, with just a tiny bit of water, and then wait the hour or two for that to get through your gut before you start drinking your tea and all of those things. Because if you're going to be consistent with thyroid medication, when it comes to thyroid medication, if you drink the same thing with your thyroid medication every single day, it's going to be regulated. Okay.
Mhm.
If you choose to separate it, then just keep it separate. Blood sugar medication. For so many people who are diabetic or pre-diabetic and they get put on metformin or insulin, right? And there's medication that's needed first thing in the morning. First of all, if you're on blood sugar medication, you should be testing your blood sugar. And oftentimes when people start this, within the first week, they start seeing their blood sugar really coming down. So it's time for you to start testing your blood sugar, making sure if your blood sugar is lower than normal in the morning, you might have to have that conversation on my chart to the doctor and say, you know what? I think I got to hold off on my metformin. I don't want my blood sugar to go too low. If you're finding yourself going too low and needing to eat sugar to get your blood sugar up, it's time to have a conversation with your doctor on
Mhm.
maybe lowering the dose or getting rid of some medication. So if you have medication that needs to be taken first thing in the morning, and you have to take it with some food, okay, and it has to be taken in the morning, take it with like a little bit of protein. Like if you can get it in with a little bit of a protein shake that's no carb, low carb, that is going to be an option for you. Most medication, people are able to talk to their doctor and just take it at lunch and dinner instead without a problem. Without a problem at all. But like I said, if you have to take something first thing in the morning, go ahead. There is no direct drug interactions between the tea and the fiber with anything. Literally, it's in the physician's desk reference, also known as the prescriber's digital reference. Your doctor can reference it there. It's not going to interact with anything. The only issue is fiber, right? So even though this isn't a high fiber supplement, it's not like 30 grams of fiber or anything crazy. It still is fiber and it's still going to sit in your gut. So if your doctor specifically tells you you have a medication that needs to be avoided by fiber, just avoid it with the fiber. Don't have
Mhm.
them within 2 hours of each other. That's all you have to do. So that's our question about medication. And then Julie asked, do you always drink the fiber prior to a meal? So Tanya, what about on your meals that don't have carbs? Are you still taking the fiber?
Well, I personally am. When I started off, I would have the fiber just before my dinner meal. But I do drink two now per day. So I do have one prior to my lunch or my first meal of the day because I'm usually having something, even if it's a vegetable or a fruit that is a
Still
carb. It
carbs.
turns into sugar. So, yes, I'm having two a day. I'm choosing to do that. And a lot of people further on down the road do. But one per day, right before your meal, it's so easy. Mix it up, drink it. You're done. You're ready to go. I know you like to sip on yours sometimes with your dinner.
I do. I like it like a Slurpee.
Yes, yes.
When I first started drinking the fiber, it's a little bit thicker. You shake it up and drink it right away. So it thickens a little bit as it sits.
Mhm.
And so at first I was like, oh, this is kind of thick, not something I want to drink, right?
Right.
I started to love it. As your gut microbiome changes, you start craving fiber. And
Mhm.
now I can make it. And I a couple times as well, I've accidentally made a fiber instead of a tea. Like I just grabbed the
Yes.
wrong packet, absent-mindedly not looking at what I'm doing, and I go to mix it, and I'm like, oh, it's a fiber instead of the tea.
Yummy.
That's fine. I'll just sit
Yes.
here and drink it. And I could just sip on it during my meal. It's actually very good for your blood sugar if you want to just sit and sip on it through your meal. If you're really, really focused on cholesterol, you can drink it 15 minutes before your meal and it'll completely coat the gut and really cut down that cholesterol absorption, especially if
Mhm.
you're having something like greasy, fatty foods. But I'll be honest with you, most of us start avoiding that once we start getting healthy. It's not something we really crave.
It just, you don't crave it and it doesn't taste good. You can just taste the fake oil and the salt and all of that, right, in it.
Oh
No
yeah,
desire
absolutely. Yeah.
desired.
It's this is life-changing for so many different ways. First of
Mhm.
all, the inflammation comes down. The tea is decreasing the inflammation. The fasting is decreasing the inflammation. Okay, guys, your gut is healing because of the fiber. Your gut is also healing because of the fasting. So it's not just the supplements doing all the work. It's the time-based eating that also adds that third component to helping you get healthy. Most of our clients see the decrease in inflammation and the increase in energy first. Some people see the blood sugar coming down in a safe way. This is not going to drop your blood sugar to an unsafe level, but most people see the blood sugar coming down. Some people see weight loss first. Some people see them both at the same time. The products themselves come with a 90-day money back guarantee because literally everybody we see within 90 days is either seeing the inflammation, seeing the weight, seeing the blood sugar, usually seeing multiple things that are going on,
Mhm.
especially if they started making some small tweaks in what they eat. If you're like me and you were eating terrible when you first started this, you may be going slow on how you change how you eat. What
Mhm.
I did personally is I took my one packet of fiber and I mixed half before lunch and half before dinner because I was eating carbs both times. Pretty soon I was deciding that I didn't want to eat carbs with lunch and dinner. So I typically now have a carb less, like eggs, avocado,
Mm.
very lean lunch, healthy, full of calories, dense, but lean. And then dinner, I eat whatever the heck I want and I drink the fiber. That's how I do it for me. Now, Tanya was eating super healthy food. All
Mhm.
she had to do was add on the time based eating
Mhm.
and start fixing that gut health a little bit. using the help of the prebiotics, and
Mhm.
using the tea just to help with the inflammation.
Mhm.
So, with everyone, there is some kind of different ways that you can do this. Some people do choose to start out doing one tea in the morning, fiber before lunch, and fiber before dinner if they eat very carb heavy. If they're eating very big, very carb dense meals, that is also another option for you. This is very, very customizable to who you are. If you're a workout girly, the tea itself is a beautiful pre-workout, increases oxygen to the muscles. Mike Saunders is a power weightlifter, broke 3 world records drinking this stuff before his lifts. So if you think it's not going to help you in the gym and you're gym girly, let me tell you, we got you with that. The fiber itself, I'll be honest with you, I don't know anybody who meets the 35 to 40 grams of fiber a day. I mean, I certainly didn't.
Mm.
Nachos were not going to get me there, let me tell you.
That's for
So,
sure.
right?
Yes.
So, I mean, I will be honest with you guys, it will change what you crave.
Yes. It
It's going to
really
change how
does.
hungry you are.
Mhm.
And before we get off this platform, I want to make sure that we discuss for a moment, Tanya,
Mhm.
what we're doing right now. We are
Okay.
in the midst
72
of
hour
a
fast.
72-hour fast. Okay.
Yes.
So, not something I recommend you just jump into. Not so we are seasoned vets of doing time-based
Yes.
eating. We are
Yes.
metabolically flexible. Our body knows how to dive deep into release sugar from our stored fat cells because we have adjusted our bodies and gotten ourselves metabolically flexible with this system. Now, 3 years ago, if someone tried to put me on a 72-hour tea and water fast, I would have passed out on the floor. I
Mm-hmm.
would have been collapsed for low blood sugar, hot mess, express, probably hot sweats through the roof, and all of those terrible things. Now we have metabolic flexibility. So, like I said, fasting is something you want to do safely. Always, if you're on medication, you have questions, you can more than welcome to ask your doctor. These are all listed in the prescriber's digital reference. And then, of course, I am a pharmacist. If you have questions specifically about medication, we can reach out and talk one-on-one on any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 72-hour fast is incredible. Something we could all, I could not have done this without
There's no
these.
way.
Yeah,
No.
there's no way I could have done a 72-hour water fast.
And I was a good, I think, 11 months into this before I tried my first one in October. And it went really well. I do one about
Incredible.
every 6 months, I think, is what our team is doing now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's simple.
Yep.
That's something you're interested, we can talk more about that.
Mhm.
But it's something you ease into. Fasting is something you ease into and you always want to do safely. It is not meant to make you shaky. It is not meant to make you lightheaded. It is not meant to make you feel bad. It doesn't feel bad. It feels amazing.
It does.
Like,
Yep.
let's see, how many hours in? I'm gonna
We're
pull up.
50, I'm 50 hours in, and
So
I
one
feel
thing, I'm
amazing.
48 hours
Okay.
in. And Uh, another thing that we didn't mention is with our supplements comes a free app. It's a fasting
Which
app. You
it's
you can
amazing.
track. Yeah,
Yes.
you can track how often you're fasting. It's full of recipes. It's full of hot tips. You can actually set it up so the information can be sent to your coach so they can help you if you're
Mhm.
getting stuck. It's a wonderful resource. It's absolutely free. And 48 hours, 50 hours. I'm just drinking water. We're on here talking
Yes.
science.
Doing just great. Just great.
Feeling good, feeling great, energized, motivated.
I'm already planning on my dinner tomorrow night to be delicious and
Ooh,
protein
what are you gonna have?
packed. Well, we are going to grill some New York strips, I think, or sirloins.
Ooh, steak
Yeah,
is the way to go. So
it
I
is.
always break mine with bone broth.
Yes.
So I will have probably a half a cup of bone broth and wait about a half an hour and have another half a cup of bone broth. And then I'm really craving boiled eggs, which is so weird. It's so
Mm,
weird to say that.
sounds
Like I'm
good.
just like, oh my gosh, I want some
That does
boiled
sound
eggs
so
with
good.
tahini sprinkled
Mm.
on top. Ooh, love,
Ooh.
love, love. And then a steak. Like, okay, so breaking of your fast is kind of like this adventurous 2-hour eating
Mm-hmm.
protocol, just so you guys
Mm-hmm.
know. Like this is like you sip a little bone broth and 30 minutes later sip in a little bone and then you eat your egg and then you enjoy usually a beautiful protein source and it's phenomenal. Oh my
Yes,
gosh, I'm like so excited. I'm
I
so
am
excited
too.
about planning our meal and it tastes phenomenal because your body hasn't eaten in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, I love it, I love it. So before we get off here today, there's just one more question I want to ask you.
Okay.
So, if there's one person listening today who is struggling exactly where you were 3 years
Oh,
ago,
gosh.
what would you like to say to them? If it was your bestie sitting here with the same
Mm,
problem, what would you say?
I would say that there is a simple solution to try this. There's nothing to lose in trying this, and that making this decision can change the trajectory of the rest of your life. What you put in your mouth today is going to affect you down the road, and getting a handle on what you're eating, how you're taking care of your body is so vitally important. I can't encourage you guys enough to give this a try. It is easy, effective, affordable, and it has given me a purpose again to share this with others. I just absolutely love it. Makes me so happy when someone, I'm doing a check in and they say how good they're feeling. That makes it all so worth it to me. It has changed my life.
Yeah, I can honestly tell you that as a pharmacist, over the last 20 years, there is a handful of people where I feel like I have changed their life basically because they've come up to me and they're just so happy, like they want to
Mhm.
hug me and they're like, oh my gosh, you
Mhm.
changed my life. And now in 20 years, a handful. I can name like three of them off the top of my head, right?
Mhm.
In
Right.
the last 3 years, I've had
Hundreds.
hundreds of messages of people telling me just watching my lives alone, following the tips and tricks, sipping on a little bit of tea, changing how they put fiber into their life
Mhm.
has radically changed their lives. No more fatty liver, no more thyroid medication, no more polycythemia, no more type 2 diabetes, no more menopause symptoms, no more hot flashes. I'm 90 and I have energy I'm 90 and my arthritis was so
Incredible.
bad I couldn't walk up the stairs and go to bed and sleep in my own bed at night. I just walked up my stairs. 1 week into drinking the tea, I'm walking up the stairs and sleeping in my own bed for the first time.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
and I just, it's the most rewarding thing I've ever
It
done.
is.
And that's why you see me everywhere. See me everywhere on social media talking about this. And I don't want to ever stop talking about it because it literally fills my cup like nothing else. Like nothing else.
Same.
So, I love it. I love it.
I do
So
too.
we'll continue to get more questions in here, guys, and we will address all of those questions in the chat for you. Don't worry, we will reach out and answer any questions that you have. But one thing I would like to tell everyone is that me and Tonya do a tea talk
Yes.
podcast every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time on Facebook. If you'd like to join us, we talk about physical and mental health. We talk a little tea. We talk about what we're eating. We talk about our mental health, and here, sitting right here by me, we talk about this book that we absolutely positively love. So it's kind of a book club, kind of a girls' talk.
Love
We
it.
have a good time, and it's really fun if you'd like to join us. As well, on Thursday evenings, I typically go live on here on this podcast to talk about nutrition, to talk about health and wellness. So as we leave today, thank you so much, Tonya, for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Jen. I
I
love you. I
appreciate it.
appreciate you so much.
Oh,
I do
girl,
that to
you're
my granddaughter.
family.
She loves it.
Someone who was a stranger who I met on social media three
I
years
know.
ago
Can you
is
believe it?
now one of the closest people to my
Wow.
heart. Isn't that incredible? It's
It's
incredible
amazing
the
how
power.
we cross each other's paths.
Yeah. So between now and when we talk to you next, our mission here is good nutrition. So please make the choice to be powerfully present in your health and wellness because nobody's going to do it for you. Your doctor's not going to do it for you.
No.
Your pharmacist is not going to do it for you. Your spouse isn't going to do it for you. Absolutely no one is going to knock the donut out of your hand and take the Doritos out of your grocery cart. You have to do it for you. You have to make that choice. If you're having struggles with it, we have the supplements and we have a group team that will help you, coach you, and give you all the tips and tricks to make it successful. So, thank you so much for joining us today. Everybody, have an absolutely wonderful